stop watering every day. Last summer, I read comment after comment from gardeners who said the same thing. I watered every day, and it still died. Tomatoes collapsed in July. Peppers dropped every flower. Raised beds looked abandoned by August. Daily watering trains roots to stay shallow, right at the surface. Then real heat shows up. The top few inches dry out, and those roots have nowhere to go. You were not lazy. You were not cursed with a brown thumb. You were following advice that set your garden up to fail. And all those plants you already paid for? The soil, the pots, the fertilizer? Drought does not just kill your tomatoes. It burns your wallet. I pulled apart every drought method worth knowing and narrowed it down to 7 that save water and save money. And none of them ask you to stand outside with a hose every night. One is free. One costs about $20 and drops the temperature around your plants by up to 10 degrees. And one turns rain from your roof into irrigation you never have to pay for. Drop your state or your zone in the comments. Drought in Georgia looks nothing like drought in Arizona, and I want to know what you are up against. Number 1. The free material that cuts your water loss in half. Your garden is losing water right now. Bare soil under full sun bleeds moisture like a leaky faucet you forgot to fix. You spent 20 minutes this morning watering your tomato bed. By 2 p.m., the top inch of soil is bone dry again. You water again at 6 p.m. By tomorrow morning, same story. You are stuck in a cycle you cannot win. And the fix is so simple, it almost sounds fake. Mulch. But not the way most people do it. Here is the part that changes everything. Most gardeners throw down a thin inch of mulch and call it done. That does almost nothing. You need 3 to 4 inches of organic mulch on your vegetable beds. That extra depth is the difference between losing half your soil moisture every day and keeping it in the ground where your roots can actually use it. Sun hits bare soil and turns it into a hot plate. Heat pulls water straight up to the surface. That water hits the air and vanishes. Your roots never see it. But when you lay down 3 to 4 inches of mulch, you block the first step in that chain. The sun cannot reach the soil. The soil stays cool. The water stays put. The University of California Cooperative Extension found that 3 to 4 inches of organic mulch cuts soil evaporation by up to 50%. Half your water, saved, for the cost of a bag of leaves. I ran the numbers on this, and the answer was obvious. You can spend $0 on mulch, or close to it. Shredded leaves from your own yard are free. Rake them up in fall, bag them, and dump them on your beds in spring. If you do not have enough leaves, a straw bale from Tractor Supply runs $5 to $8 and covers about 100 square feet. Wood chips work too, but save those for pathways and around fruit trees. For vegetable beds, straw and shredded leaves are the move. Here is exactly what you do. Spread 3 to 4 inches of straw or shredded leaves between your plants. For fruit trees and perennial beds, go thicker, 4 to 6 inches. Keep the mulch 2 to 3 inches away from the stem of every plant. That gap matters. Mulch piled against the trunk holds moisture right where you do not want it, and that invites rot. Wait until your soil is warmed up after your last frost before you mulch. Putting it down on cold soil traps the cold in and slows your plants down. One honest note. Mulch holds moisture in, but it does not create water. If you are in a zone where you have zero access to water for weeks at a time, mulch stretches what you have, but it cannot replace rain that never comes. For everywhere else, it is the single cheapest thing you can do. 3 inches of free leaves between your plants and the sun. That is the single most underpaid worker in your garden. Number 2. The watering habit that is secretly killing your roots. If you are out there with a hose every evening giving each plant a little drink, you are training your garden to die in a drought. That splash after work feels responsible. It is not. Here is the part that changes everything. The problem is not how much water you give. It is where that water goes. Roots are hunters. They grow toward water. If you water a little bit every day, the water only soaks the top 2 to 3 inches of soil. Your roots learn that water is always right there at the surface, so they stay put. They spread out wide and shallow. A week without rain dries that surface soil first. Your roots have nowhere to go. The plant wilts. But when you soak the soil deep, once or twice a week, that water sinks down 6, 8, 12 inches. Your roots chase it. They push deeper every week. A plant with roots 12 to 18 inches down can pull water from soil that is still cool and damp long after the surface has baked dry. Everyone talks about how much to water, but they are all missing the point. It is not how much, it is how deep. Here is exactly what you do. For tomatoes, peppers, and squash, deep soak twice a week. For established perennials, once a week or less. Each time you water, keep going until the soil is wet 6 to 8 inches down. That is roughly 1 to 1.5 inches of water per session. Water in the morning, before 9 a.m. Less heat means less water lost to the air before it reaches the roots. And forget buying a moisture meter. You already own a better one. Push your finger 2 inches into the soil. If it feels damp, walk away. If it feels dry, soak it deep. 5 seconds, 0 cost. And it tells you exactly what your plants need. Your finger, 2 inches of soil, and 5 seconds. That is a better tool than any moisture meter you can buy. But changing how you water is only half the battle. The next one on this list takes you out of the equation entirely. Number 3. The $45 setup that waters your garden while you sleep. What if you could water your entire vegetable garden while you are at work, using a fraction of the water a sprinkler uses for about the cost of a pizza? Here is the part that changes everything. A sprinkler throws your water into the air first. Wind steals some. The sun burns off more before it ever reaches the bed. And whatever lands on the leaves still does nothing for the roots. A drip line does the opposite. It puts water on the soil, right where your roots are waiting. No wind loss, no leaf splash. You stop watering the air and start watering the root zone. If I could only pick one thing from this entire list, this would be it. It is 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. You are making coffee. Outside. Your drip system kicked on by itself. 30 minutes later, it shuts off. Every root in your garden got exactly what it needed. You did not touch a hose. You did not set an alarm. Total effort from you, 0. Here is exactly what you do. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's and look for a raised bed drip kit or a garden row drip kit. They run $25 to $55 depending on how many beds you need to cover. The kit comes with 1/4-inch tubing and emitters already spaced out. Lay the tubing along your rows. Space emitters 12 inches apart for leafy greens and herbs. For tomatoes, peppers, and squash, 18 inches works. Connect it to your hose bib. Done. Now add a single-zone hose timer for $15 to $20. Set it to run 30 to 45 minutes, twice a week, starting at 5 or 6 a.m. You set it once on a Sunday afternoon and walk away. Total investment for a fully automated drip system, $45 to $75. The math on this is hard to argue with. Most gardeners spend $20 to $40 a month on water during summer just for the garden. A drip system cuts that water use by 50 to 70%. The system pays for itself in 1 to 2 months. After that, the savings are yours every single season. $45, one Sunday afternoon, and you never drag a hose again. I'm not going to beg. I will just tell you how YouTube works. The algorithm does not reliably show my videos unless it sees you as a regular here. One tap on subscribe fixes that. If you want more strategies that save water and save money, that tap is how you keep seeing them. Number 4. 5 cultivars that survive when the rain stops. You planted the same tomato variety your neighbor grows. 2 weeks without rain, and yours looks like it gave up on life. Your neighbor's plants look fine. The difference is not skill, it is the cultivar. Here is the part that changes everything. Some vegetables were bred for places where rain is rare. They send roots deeper and hold water in their leaves longer. Some keep producing fruit when everything else in your bed has shut down. You do not need to baby them. You just need to pick the right ones. Dry farmers in California have been growing early girl tomatoes with almost no irrigation for decades. Your backyard in Zone 7 does not need to be a commercial farm to use the same approach. Early girl works in zones 3 through 9. Space them 24 to 36 inches apart, or grow one in a 5-gallon pot. Give it regular water for the first 4 to 6 weeks after transplant. Once established, you can stretch to watering every 7 to 10 days, and the flavor actually gets better with less water. The sugars concentrate. I almost skipped okra for this list. I'm glad I did not. Clemson spineless okra thrives in heat that would flatten most crops. Zones 5 through 11. Space them 12 to 18 inches apart and do not plant until your soil hits 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Once established, once a week is plenty. Harvest the pods at 3 to 4 inches, and the plant keeps cranking out new ones all summer. Armenian cucumber is not actually a cucumber. It is a melon. That matters because its roots run much deeper than a standard cucumber, and it handles heat above 100 degrees Fahrenheit without blinking. Zones 4 through 10. Give it 36 to 48 inches of space and run it up a trellis. The trellis keeps fruit off the hot ground and reduces how fast the soil dries out underneath. Black-eyed peas are almost unfair. They fix their own nitrogen, so they feed themselves and improve your soil at the same time. Zones 5 through 11. Sow seeds directly 4 to 6 inches apart after your last frost. Once they sprout and get going, you can practically ignore them. Dark star zucchini handles dry stretches better than standard zucchini. Zones 3 through 10. One plant in a 5-gallon pot or spaced 24 to 36 inches in the ground. A single plant produces 6 to 10 pounds per season. At grocery store prices, that is $15 to $25 worth of zucchini from one plant. One honest note: every plant on this list still needs water to establish. None of these are magic. The first month after transplant, you water regularly. The drought tolerance kicks in after roots have had time to grow deep. Skip that first month, and even these will fail. Here is exactly what you do. Pick 2 or 3 from this list that fit your zone. Start them alongside whatever else you are growing. When the dry weeks hit, you will see the difference. Stop fighting your climate. Pick the plants that were built for it. Number 5. The $20 fix for the problem you keep blaming on water. Your tomatoes stop setting fruit above 90 degrees. Your lettuce bolts, your peppers drop their blossoms. And you think it is a watering problem. It is not. It is a heat problem. If your tomato plants are flowering, but you are getting 0 fruit in July and August, stop blaming your watering. Look up. The sun is cooking your garden, and no amount of water fixes that. Here is the part that changes everything. Tomato pollen dies above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The flower opens, the bees show up, but the pollen is already dead. Nothing gets pollinated. The flower falls off. You see healthy green plants covered in blooms and think everything is fine. Then August passes, and you have almost nothing to pick. You add more fertilizer. You water twice a day. None of it helps, because the problem was never in the soil. The heat killed the pollen before it could do its job. No one talks about this. A piece of white shade cloth fixes it. Shade cloth blocks a percentage of sunlight and drops the temperature underneath by about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That is enough to keep pollen alive and your tomatoes setting fruit through the worst of summer. It also slows down how fast your soil dries out, so you water less often. Here is exactly what you do. For most vegetable gardens in zones 7 and 8, get a 30 to 40% white shade cloth. If you are in zone 9 or 10, the Southwest, Phoenix, Tucson, Las Vegas, go with 50%. White reflects heat better than black. Black absorbs it. White is the right choice for vegetables. A 6 by 12 foot piece at Walmart or Amazon runs $15 to $25. That covers one standard raised bed. Clip it onto PVC hoops bent over the bed, or hang it from 4 wooden stakes at the corners. The whole setup takes about 30 minutes. Put it up when daytime highs stay above 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Take it down when temperatures settle back under 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the fall. The cloth lasts 2 to 3 seasons before you need to replace it. Total cost with clips and hoops, $20 to $35. Use shade cloth on tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, spinach, kale, and any cool season crop you are trying to push through summer. $20, 30 minutes, 10 degrees cooler. Your tomatoes do not know it is July anymore. But the last strategy on this list might be the best deal you will find in gardening this year. It involves free water. Number 6. Why your pots dry out twice as fast and how to stop it. A black plastic pot sitting in full sun can hit 130 degrees inside by mid-afternoon. Your roots are cooking, and your soil dries out twice as fast as the bed next to it. You come home from work. The basil on the porch is wilted flat. You soak it. Next day, same thing. You are not underwatering. The pot itself is the problem. Here is the part that changes everything. Dark-colored pots absorb heat and bake the soil from the outside in. The pot is fighting you, and fixing it costs almost nothing. Here is exactly what you do. First, switch to lighter-colored containers, tan, white, or light terracotta. If you already own dark pots, drop them inside a larger, light-colored pot. The air gap between the two acts as insulation. Second, group your pots together. The sides shade each other and lose less water to the air. Third, add 1 inch of straw or shredded bark on top of the soil in every pot. Small move, big difference. If you want to go one step further, build a self-watering bucket. One 5-gallon bucket, a short piece of PVC pipe, and a smaller container nested inside. Water sits in the bottom reservoir, and the roots pull it up as they need it. About $5 in materials. Search 5-gallon bucket self-watering planter for a walkthrough. Always use the biggest pot you can. 5-gallon minimum for tomatoes and peppers. 10-gallon grow bags are even better. A bigger pot holds more soil, and more soil holds more water between sessions. With these changes, you go from watering every day to every 2 to 3 days. Bigger pot, lighter color, 1 inch of mulch on top. 3 changes, half the watering. Number 7. The rain barrel math that turns every storm into free irrigation. 1 inch of rain on a 1,000 square foot roof produces 600 gallons of water. That water hits your gutters, rolls off your property, and disappears into the storm drain. You just watched free water leave your house. It rained last Thursday. Half an inch, maybe 20 minutes. A barrel under your downspout would have caught 300 gallons of roof runoff. That is 10 days of drip irrigation for a 4x8 raised bed. Free. While you were inside, watching the rain. Here is the part that changes everything. Rainwater is not just free. It is better for your plants than what comes out of your tap. City water has chlorine in it. Chlorine kills bacteria in your drinking water, and that is fine for you. But it also kills beneficial microbes in your soil. Those microbes are what help your roots absorb nutrients. Rainwater has no chlorine. Your soil gets the water it was designed to receive, and the biology in the ground stays alive. That is why a barrel is not just storage. It is better water, saved until your garden needs it. Of everything on this list, this is the one I would not skip. Here is exactly what you do. A standard 55-gallon rain barrel runs $70 to $90 at Home Depot. Set it under the downspout closest to your garden. A downspout diverter kit costs $10 to $20 and routes the water straight into the barrel. Total setup time, about 5 minutes. Elevate the barrel 1 to 2 feet on cinder blocks or bricks so gravity can push water through a soaker hose or drip line. Put a mesh screen over the opening to keep mosquitoes out. If you have the space, connect 2 barrels for 110 gallons. The money math is simple. Depending on your local water rate, a rain barrel saves $50 to $200 over a single summer. If you live in California, Arizona, or Texas where water is expensive, the barrel pays for itself in 1 season. In the Midwest, where rates are lower, 2 to 3 seasons. After that, every drop is profit. And yes, it is legal. Rain barrel collection is legal in all 50 states. Colorado caps you at 110 gallons total. Most states have no limit at all. Many cities offer rebates of $35 to $200 per barrel. Check your local water district before you buy. You might get the barrel at half price or less. If you are in Zone 6 or colder, drain the barrel before winter to prevent cracking from ice. I want to be straight with you. If you live somewhere that gets 0 rain for 3 months straight, 1 barrel is not going to carry your garden through the whole summer. A rain barrel works best where you get occasional storms. You catch the rain when it comes and stretch it through the dry gaps. In the deep Southwest, a rain barrel is a bonus, not a primary water source. $70, 5 minutes of setup, and every rainstorm becomes free irrigation. The math is not even close. So, here is the list. Mulch keeps the water you already paid for. Deep watering sends roots where the soil stays cool. Drip irrigation takes the hose out of your hand. Shade cloth handles the heat problem. The right cultivars stop fighting your climate. Containers need shade, size, and mulch. And the rain barrel turns every storm into free irrigation. Every one of these costs less than replacing 1 dead tomato plant mid-season. Drought gardening is not about working harder. It is about setting up your garden so the work happens once and the results last all summer. Drop your state or your zone in the comments and tell me which one of these you are trying first this summer. And think of one person you know whose garden looked like a crime scene by August last year. The neighbor who ran the sprinkler for 2 hours and still lost everything. The friend who swore they would never plant again because nothing survived the heat. Send them this video. Do not write a message, just send the link.